This mutation is called Assembly of Vengeance and has been played on Temple of the Past. We have two mutators active, we have Heroes from the Storm, and we have Avenger. Both of these mutators are ridiculously nasty. So Heroes from the Storm can stand by itself as a solo mutator on any mission, and it could be a weekly mutation because Amon's heroes are really powerful. They have a lot of HP, they have really powerful abilities, and just in general not very pleasant to play with. So we have that, and then we also have Avenger, which means the enemy units get stronger as every enemy unit around them dies. So let's have a look quickly at the masteries over here. We have Concentrated Beam, Structure Health, and Drill Upgrade for Swann, which means we'll be expecting a very static-based build, a spawn campy kind of build with a lot of static defense here to support the spawn camping procedure. We have Vorazun with a black hole duration and time stop speed increase. These are very standard. And we have the standard 22-8 split mastery into the Chrono Boost and Spear of Adun mastery. Now, one thing that might be better is to invest the points into the Spear of Adun energy instead of the Chrono Boost over here. And that will allow you to have a lot more black holes. And black holes are critical for disabling the enemy heroes, because Vorazun's abilities in general are very powerful disabling abilities. So just having the black hole available more frequently in the sense that you have more starting energy might be a little bit better. But Chrono Boost is also kind of useful. Chrono Boost will allow you to get your tech structures out a lot faster, and as you can see over here, there's a Chrono Boost already put down onto the Twilight Council just to try and rush up into the upgrades, and a very fast target has been put out here. So already a Chrono Boost now gets transferred over to Swann's Laser Drill, and this is the next thing that's also really important. When you're dealing with very difficult mutations, your cooldowns are key, and efficient use of cooldowns is also very important. So just getting your abilities early and using your abilities as efficiently as possible to the best of your abilities can make a huge difference between making this thing a little bit easier. And as you can see here, a Shadow Guard already gets dropped onto this, and notice that the Shadow Guard has not used this Shadow Fury because the Shadow Fury was manually disabled here, and this was done intentionally just to make sure that the Dark Templars would not give the Avenger stacks to Raynor by killing the Marines through its Shadow Fury. So for the Shadow Guard now gets transferred over here to try and help clear this expansion while the enemy units do break down these rocks. And this attack wave is making its way towards the temple here, and now the Shadow Guard gets called a little bit too early though, unfortunately, but now Shadow Fury has been re-enabled and does end up taking out this attack wave before it reaches the temple. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of HP left on the rocks here. They were called a little bit too early, and now we have a combat drop that has been dropped on this side to start clearing the enemy units here. I believe a Concentrated Beam to provide a little bit of vision to get this combat drop to work here, and this combat drop will start working way to clear this side. So Swann is already helping out his ally out, clearing out these rocks there, because the Marine output, the Marine DPS was really high, and Raynor and all Amon's heroes are detectors, so they will be accompanied by these Marines that make it a little bit more difficult. There is another Tychus on here now who is coming along, and the Dark Templars do get split to try and avoid that Shredder Grenade that he's going to end up inevitably casting, and now the Dark Templars are just going to work their way on Tychus. One Dark Templar gets pulled back a little bit, gets pulled back again. This does get focus fired down by Tychus. That's kind of inevitable. 2 DTs and a random stat piece of static defense does make it a little bit more difficult. Production-wise, we can see the Fleet Beacon is already out, and Vorazun is researching the stasis calibration ability, and this will allow the Oracle stasis wards to, when they stun an enemy unit or when they stasis an enemy unit, that enemy unit can be attacked by units there, and that'll be part of the strategy, I believe, for Vorazun here on this side. So we also have the Shadow Fury upgrade being researched here, very important upgrade for the Dark Templars. Pulse Cannon comes down, takes out this attack wave, and now all that is left is the hero that is going to spawn in a few seconds. There we go. So we have the Haka here, and now Time Stop comes down. And the reason why Time Stop came down now and not on the earlier attack waves is because the Haka is just innately a more difficult hero to deal with. Raynor and Tychus have very high auto attack damage, but that's pretty much it for them. Their skills are not very impactful. Dehaka can cause a lot of problems to your units. He is just really annoying there. So there's another stasis that gets dropped down here, but the hybrid focus fires down this. Oracle decides to not bother, drops another stasis ward on this side now. But I think it is not in the correct spot for the heroes. The heroes spawn a little bit on this side here, on this little area here. Yeah, there's a hero over here, and unfortunately they are trying to lure that into the stasis ward, but Raynor is a detector, does end up focus firing down the stasis ward, and now focus fire down Raynor. Raynor ends up dying, and now we just have these few Marines here now that are there. But unfortunately not enough energy on the Oracles, just enough to start making them cast, but they get focus fired down by the Marines, and they end up going down. So there are more oracles on the way, more gateways as well. Both commanders have pretty much saturated their expansion, and now there is another attack wave now on this side with Tychus. Black Hole comes down now, and Vorazun with her Dark Templars now is just going to instantly clear out these. Unfortunately, does end up giving these stacks to Tychus, but Tychus is no real big deal now because there is a stasis ward that gets put down, ends up stun locking Tychus, and a focus fire down from the laser drill does end up getting Tychus taken out here. Siege tanks have been pushing on this side as well. That area will be cleared up relatively quickly, and now that Void Thrasher goes down. So now we are in the second stage of the mission, where we will be having 2 attack waves that will be spawning. Vorazun does have pretty much all the upgrades that she needs. She has the Shadow Fury upgrade, she has the Blink upgrade for her Dark Templars, she has the Stasis calibration, and the Stealth Drive upgrade, which is the one that will make the enemy, her Corsairs and Oracles float. So we have Karax that has spawned here, does end up taking out a couple of these siege tanks with a Kaidaran Monolith, but there's again a focus fire down on this side. On here, Vorazun has casted a Black Hole to try and focus down this Dehaka. Dehaka does end up going down, does transfer all his Avenger stacks to the rest of the units there, and his 2 cronies as well have kind of spazzing out on this side. Avenger does make the AI a little bit spaz out, because the AI movement speed is a little bit fast, and I think what happens is that the pathing algorithm kind of messes up because it moves a lot faster, so they end up colliding into walls a little bit more than normal. But Swann, as you can see over here, has started to spawn camp this area with a bunch of siege tanks, and Swann also has gotten like a lot of the static defense upgrades that are very critical. Time Stop has come down now, and Zagara has spawned on this side, and Zagara is going to get cleaned up on here. With this side, we have Nova getting focus fired down by the Oracles as well. Disco Inferno on the Oracles does end up killing off Nova. Nova is really annoying. You do not want her casting your nukes. And a very nice concentrated beam comes down here. Instantly one-shots pretty much the majority of the attack wave, leaving a few stragglers on this side. Oracles do get pulled back from the missile turrets, and Vorazun has essentially cleaned up that side as well. Over here, Swann is completely fortifying this position. A lot of siege tanks coming out here as well, and now we have another attack wave that's spawned on this side. You can see this attack wave which is going to get completely shredded by the army of siege tanks on this side. And over here, one stasis ward has completely nullified the entire attack wave, and Vorazun's Dark Templars have pretty much deleted that side. And now we have another stasis ward on this side as well to deal with this next hero that will be spawning. And there we go, we have Karax on this side. Unfortunately did not spawn at the correct spot here, and we have a nuclear launch here. Does end up catching out a few of these siege tanks, but Noah will end up going down on this side as well. And now there is a ping on here for this next spawn here. So Vorazun is going to be moving her army back onto this side, and now we have a pulse scanner here that has cleaned up this side. Unfortunately, there is a hero to spawn, and Vorazun is somewhat out of position here. He has to move her army back. There is a recall on the Oracles here. I think the Oracles may have been split off from the enemy use here, but there is another Disco Inferno here, but unfortunately Zagara is a little bit too strong. The better choice here would have been to cast a Stasis Ward. Unfortunately, a little bit too late on that, and the Oracles do end up getting caught out here. There's a Corsair here as well. There is an attempt here, I believe, to try and see if Disruption Web will work on these units, but both the commanders do end up retreating on this side. A bunch of Stasis Wards get dropped here. I believe the Disruption Webs do not work on the Amon heroes because they are not energy-based units. So their abilities are casted by triggers and not through actual random abilities. So I'm not sure if they're able to actually use their abilities there. Again, there is Zeratul on this side, but again, there is a bunch of Dark Templars now on here. Vorazun's army has joined in, and there is a bunch of siege tanks shelling from the top that have ended up clearing out this attack wave. So the allied commanders have gone and pushed back a little bit of a mispositioning there on Vorazun's part, but they are able to hold the side. There is a Void Thrasher that has spawned on here, but again, we have Swann has dropped some static defenses here, but now this next attack wave is going to be really critical because Artanis is here as well. Very nice concentrated beam gets dropped down onto this attack wave, ends up clearing out this entire attack wave, but now Artanis has all the Avenger stacks and he is massive. But the Oracles have dropped stasis wards on this side, and notice the timing there of the stasis ward. You want Artanis's ability to proc before the stasis ward gets dropped, otherwise you're going to end up losing that stasis ward, which was the timing that was used over there. So Artanis just uses his rebirth ability, but ends up getting caught out by the stasis ward because it was just finished being created there. And Vorazun's Oracles are basically supporting Vorazun really well on this side. And on here we have Swann siege tanks that have moved out, and they are going to get repositioned now back to deal with the next wave here, which is going to be an airdrop attack wave. Already Vorazun has dropped a lot of static defenses down in the form of Spinning Dizzies and Blaster Billies and a little bit of Flaming Bays as well. And now there is just going to be another Black Hole that has been dropped here, and that will basically lock these units in while this hybrid just becomes really massive. Few Corsairs here for Vorazun. Unfortunately, not enough Corsairs to deal a significant amount of damage, but Vorazun's ground army is really terrifying. There are a large number of 32 Dark Templars on this side, and we also have backup from 7 Oracles here, which are going to be providing a lot of support for Vorazun's army. It's just going to take forever to kill these hybrids, because these hybrids are really massive. This hybrid has 1,200 HP right now, and I think it is also getting healed by the medevac, which is somewhat amusing. So this guy is just, it's just going to take a while to move down. But that's pretty much it. We have Swann now repositioning a bunch of siege tanks on this side, and he will start trying to spawn camp this next area here, because it is actually important to try and spawn camp. Getting pushed back onto the ramp was a minor setback for the commanders. It just shows you how powerful the pushing potential of these Amon heroes are. You have, 2 commanders that have a large number of units, and they can just get pushed back by one Amon hero, and that is why playing efficiently and using your cooldowns effectively is very important. So we have these siege tanks now that are just making a small parade push on this side just to clean out whatever's left of this enemy base here. There should not be very much left, but all cooldowns now are ready. We have time stop available, we have concentrated beam and pulse cannon ready, as well as combat drop. So all the cooldowns are ready and are good to go. So over here we have Vorazun dropping down some more stasis fields, and that will be used to stall the attack wave while the Dark Templars have there's one barracks that was left over here that managed to get away, but yeah, a ton of stasis fields going down, and just to be able to stun lock these heroes and just make the mission significantly easier. We have a drop attack on this side, so as you can see here, it's completely shredded by concentrated beam and a bunch of siege tanks, and now just the air turret. Just how fast that attack wave is. Attack wave has dropped on this side, an instant stasis on all these units over here. A few units do manage to get away because these units are kind of fat, but again, Dark Templars just blink back, instantly take out whatever left of these units, and now we have a bunch of air units here that unfortunately Vorazun is not very well equipped to deal with. Pulse cannon comes out here just to clean up Zagara's drop on this side, and as you can see, I don't even think the hero had... Did the hero spawn on this side yet? I don't think so. I don't think the hero might have gone down that quickly. There we go. Garak spawns and instantly just gets deleted by Dark Templars. And now the concentrated beam is just with an army of Corsairs just working away. Unfortunately, these Corsairs are not upgraded. The initial intent was to try the Disruption Web ability, but I believe it was never tested out to see whether it could stun these heroes. And to be honest, like the Oracles already are really powerful. So we have a recall here for the Vorazun's army, because there's going to be another drop here. And we have a bunch of stasis wards that have been dropped here to deal with the hero spawn on this side for Vorazun. So those stasis wards again are just going to be able to stun the hero and allow Swann or whoever's in the vicinity to be able to deal with that area with whatever hero is here. We have now a large number of Corsairs. We have a good number of Corsairs here, and you can see the power of Black Hole. Black Hole reduces enemy armor to 0. to any enemy unit that is within. These Corsairs are 0 upgrade. They have no attack upgrades, and they just completely shred that attack wave. And that's basically the goal of these Corsairs. Just deal with some of the airdrops here, not really deal with a lot of the air units, which makes them a little bit more weaker. As you can see over here, Artanis has spawned and has just gotten wrecked by that stasis ward that was dropped on this side. So that is probably for Artanis' first life, and then he's going to have his cast his rebirth ability, and now he's going to end up going down as well again. I don't know if there is another ability there, but there is another Oracle that is going to cast its another Stasis Ward here. So Artanis is relatively tanky, and Stasis Ward does end up going down. Unfortunately, Artanis gets taken out by that combat drop in that meanwhile. Another drop does end up getting dropped over here, again cleared out by Vorazun's Dark Templars. These drops do not get accompanied by heroes, which makes it a little bit easier. And you can see just how quickly these enemy units just end up getting taken out by Shadow Fury. Dark Templars are really powerful, and when combined with Oracles and when you have the Stasis ability as well, just really powerful upgrade. Blinks forward from the Dark Templars again, trying to keep that temple safe, and reduce the amount of damage here on that side. One Seeker Missile does go down on the Dark Templar, but the Dark Templar was initially split anyway. And you can see just a ton of Stasis Wards have come down here for Vorazun, just to stall these enemy heroes and just to stun lock them. As you can see over here, there's another Stasis Ward as well that will get pushed on this side as well. And that is very important. There's another attack right now has spawned on here, and again, these siege tanks will end up getting shredded by these siege tanks on Swann's by the siege tank fight. And there should be a hero that'll be spawning on here sometime soon. And now we have another bunch of Oracles here. Kerrigan gets dropped here, instantly stasised. And now she is just going to get completely stun locked by Stasis Wards. Another Stasis Ward comes down, ends up stunning Kerrigan, and now another Stasis Ward set comes down here, and again, just keeps stun locking her, and Kerrigan just gets taken out without having with dealing completely no damage on this side. Over here, Nova does end up getting cleaned up by some of the siege tanks, and Zagar again getting his unlocked here and ending up to getting taken out. So Nova does end up getting killed off before she ends up landing her nuke, keeping these siege tanks alive. That was actually kind of close here on Swann's side, and again, just Stasis Wards are just being put all around the map here. Another 2 Stasis Wards and another 4 Disco Balls on the side, waiting to cast more of those Stasis Wards on and stun lock these enemy heroes. Another attack wave has spawned on this side now. Large number of units, and over here a large Stasis Ward and a Black Hole is dropped here just to keep these units like just in check. These things do end up getting taken out here, but again, Vorazun is not really afraid of these units. These units are kind of annoying. Another Black Hole gets dropped over here. These hybrids have a lot of HP. They have 1,200 HP on this side. Karax does end up getting spawned, gets caught by Stasis Ward, and just gets deleted off the map here. There is one massive Hunter Killer on this side. Doesn't get taken out by these Siege Tanks. Siege Tanks have all been destroyed here by the attack wave, but Immortality Protocol is key here. And there's one last hybrid on this side that is causing a lot of problems because it has a lot of HP here. Another attack wave has dropped on this side, and as you can see, here is the power of the Stasis Wards here, and now we have a time stop that has been cast, because this is the pretty much this last attack wave before the end of the mission, so Swann needs a little bit of time to rebuild these units out here, and Vorazun has cleaned up her side here. Still waiting for the heroes to spawn, so unfortunately cannot move her army back, but this side has been cleared, and that side as well has been cleared out by the siege tanks on here. And now you will see again Stasis Wards being key in this mission over here. So Kerrigan spawns on this side. Whatever has spawned on this side has died on the here. Zagara has spawned here, and she will end up being cleaned up. And now it's just going to be a stun lock competition here. Another stun lock, and then another Stasis Ward gets put down. SCVs join in on the fight, start instantly attacking Kerrigan. They're not afraid of Kerrigan now. Kerrigan is stun locked by these Disco Balls, and that ends Kerrigan's career as the Queen of Blades. She has been bested by a couple of SCVs, and that is the end of the mission. There is a last-ditch effort to try and take out these Assumes, but not really that important, and that is GG.